Alright, let's try this a third time. Ladies and gents, welcome back to my channel. This is TJ, and I'm going to try my best to describe Diablo IV Blind Edition. At least the beginnings, tips and tricks, whatever. So, this guide is mostly targeted toward blind fighting game players or low vision fighting game players because that's what the majority play. If we just look at, like, realistically speaking, it's the easiest genre to get into when you're blind or vision impaired, because it doesn't take as much accessibility as other games. So the way I'm approaching this is this: your ARPG in the Diablo 4, what is the game like? What's the point? What can you do, and what can a blind person do, and all the accessibility. So the point of the game, or like what it is, quote unquote, like it's like tags or genres. It's an action RPG or MMO light. I've heard that one thrown around a bit here or there. So the idea is it's an RPG. So you have your traditional, like, let me
profile, chest, equipped, terrible armor, rare chest armor, 274 plus 15 item power, upgrades, 3/3, 506 armor, plus 2.6% physical damage, 2.6 to 5.8%, plus 1 rank of blood howl, 1 druid only, plus 1.8% damage, 1.8 to 3.9%, plus 28 thorns, 6.0% damage reduction while control impaired, requires level 20, sell value, 2,836 gold, durability, 100/100, left action button, unequipped.
So RPG as in, yes, there's like a whole bunch of stats you gotta worry about. There's vulnerability, fortified, there's a whole bunch of, there's a whole like glossary video as well from a content creator. Just understanding the terminology in this game. Inherently speaking, I'm for those of you commenting this, it is not as hard as Path of Exile. But at least in my opinion, from what little bit I've been able to play so far, I haven't done a whole lot, honestly. It's not as easy as something like Diablo 3 or other ARPGs, but for me it's enough difficulty to have fun, right? So the entire core of the game is you kill things, get loot, kill stronger things, get better loot, like rinse and repeat. The things that spice up the gameplay are, you have side quests, main campaign quests, dungeons, cellars, Tree of Whispers, Helltide events, PvP events, random world encounters, random boss encounters, Nightmare Dungeon. Like, there's a whole bunch of content to actually play in the game, a whole bunch of things to do. A lot of the end game is actually locked behind the campaign. So if you can't beat the campaign, or if you don't clear the campaign, you won't get the end game. You can still do like dungeons and cellars and a couple random events, but like the Helltide, the PvP, sorry about that, you're not going to experience some of it. I've seen some blind people beat the campaign independently, so that's not a problem. I'm actually nearly done with Act 1 myself. I probably would have been done with Act 1 sooner, but I keep getting sidetracked because I run into a quest or a random event, or like, I just keep getting sidetracked, right? But what is the game like as far as accessibility goes? Well, as you heard, we have a full screen reader. This thing is like 90% useful, 10% kind of gets in the way sometimes. But for the most part, this screen reader is probably the best screen reader I've seen in a game, period. Because the few games I've tried here and there that have like claimed to be accessible and this, that, whatever, or at least they've had accessibility, the screen reader's been inconsistent. It'll read like some big things you need, maybe like menus, but it won't read nothing else. They're all just hit and miss. This one actually reads like pretty much everything. I haven't found a thing it doesn't read, except trying to make a clan. I was trying to make a blind player's clan, couldn't figure it out, so I'm going to try again some point today or tomorrow, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, the actual accessibility of the game, you have the screen reader, and let me show you.
Options. Font state, use screen reader, text to speech, voice option, speech volume, local, party, trade, plan. Play sound separating chat is less than, character name is less than, font scale, colorblind, chat background, system messages, errors, combat party chat, local chat, trade chat, whispers, cinematic subtext locale, speech font scaling, font color, auto progress, screen shaded, reduce stroke, wireless control, swap, persist, skill top display, player high, NPC highlight, object highlight, in-game loot, sublet armor, jewelry, other, minimum quality.
I'm trying to go through them a little quickly, but yeah, so for fully blind players, you have a full screen reader and sound effects for loot, which is all you really needed for an ARPG like this, honestly speaking, because the biggest point of contention I've seen from a lot of blind or vision impaired people on social medias revolve around the idea of the navigation assist not being in the game. I'm telling you right now, honestly, if you think nav assist is going to make or break this game for you, I don't know what to tell you, because one, it's not in the game. That's true. Two, a top-down RPG like this, it's not very complex as far as navigation goes. It really isn't. I know some people don't like the idea of like brute forcing your navigation. You know, that's fine. That's you. But for me and my money, and you know, some people on other people I've talked to, it's fine. Like we like, again, like people have cleared campaign by themselves, or mostly by themselves. Like I've cleared dungeons. Like it's not as heartbreaking as some people are claiming it to be. Honestly, in my opinion, would it be great if it was in the game? Yes, but at the same time, it also, to me personally, it doesn't really fit what they're going for. Because if you have it hand holding you the whole time, then you might miss out on random events. Like that's kind of the point of an open world, is to explore, right? Like probably the minority here, but again, it's to me, the game's design, it would benefit from a nav assist on one end, but I mean, I don't know. It's a dicey thing, man. For me, I'm fine without it. I can navigate just fine without it. It's not a problem. So, and you know, there's arguments on both sides of it. Again, for me, I don't really care, honestly. I'm totally fine with, you know, navigating. The actual combat, how does a blind person fight in Diablo? It's pretty simple for the most part, because, excuse me, you have 6 buttons to worry about pressing on controller. At least it's if we're using NetherRealm fighting numbers, it'll be 3, 1, 2. Your blanc / amplify, depending on what game you're playing, your R1 or R2, and then your L1 is your other skill. Your L2 or L2. One of your left side shoulder triggers is healing, and the other one's a skill. I have my controls kind of flipped because I haven't flipped, so trying to remember the default stuff is kind of tricky, honestly. And then your circle, your 4, or your medium kick if you're playing Street Fighter, your heavy slash and guilty gear, like your circle or B on Xbox, that is your dodge. That is evade. That will, you know, just dodge out of the way. That one, it's more useful than you think, because bosses and elites in this game, they telegraph their attacks, so you kind of dodge them. Kind of thing like Dark Souls, but like, I mean, it's like telegraphing your attack. I don't know how else to explain it. The actual, like, so if we walk around here, just give you guys an idea of like how the navigation works. So if I'm in town, and I pull the map here, and this is where I think nav assist is not a problem, because if you pull the map, every single time you click the map, you are dead center on yourself. You are the center of the map. You are the center of the world right there. And the best way to think about it this way is this: your map, it can be thought of 2 different ways: cardinal directions or octagonal directions. Either one's works. It just depends on your preference. For me, I prefer understanding as north, east, southwest. It's just how I've done it in every time I try an RPG. It's just how I think. Anytime I'm streaming and chat decides to try and help or ask for help, we just cardinal direction it. Sometimes some people come in and be like, oh, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you know, just, which either one's fine. It's just up to you, how you personally want to think about it. But the nice thing about the map here in this game is that the screen reader actually works in this map. So if I am dead center on me and I use the left stick and move to the right. So that's Damien, that's the occultist. He helps you get your legendaries. If I move right again, nothing. Oh,
25 plus. Coffers. The tide collector is growing.
There's a side quest. So we just found. Okay, there's a side quest over there. Now let's hit square to mark it, or X to mark it on Xbox. I don't know what it's called on PC. Okay, so it went to the east to find that side quest. So let's move east. Let's get on the map and go east. Let's go around this building here.
Directional linear. Bottom action button. Interact. Directional pet up. Directional pet up. Linear. Bottom action button. Directional pet up. You cannot do that in this area. Chair. Bottom action button. Sit down. Pressure. Jeweler. Home sword. Left trigger. That still is not ready.
I didn't think I went far enough.
Pressure. Jeweler. Bottom action button.
Yeah, no, there's like a wall or something. The nice thing about town as well, you can hit down on the D-pad. That's your town portal. You can bring it, so basically just resets yourself, so you can memorize the locations.
You have reached your destination.
Okay, so I reached my pin. That told me I'm location. So let's see, where's this person?
Travelers beware. Deadly threat spotted nearby. Bottom action button. Interact. Travelers beware. Deadly threat spotted nearby. Bottom action button. Interact. Travelers beware. Deadly threat spotted nearby. Directional pet up. File dash app. Directional pet up. Notice directional pet up. Directional pet up. Tile dash add. Bottom action button. Notice board. Bottom action button. Notice board. Directional pet up. Note directional pet up. Directional pet up. Directional travelers beware.
Alright, well, I can't.
Bottom action button.
Anyway.
Interact.
So, the other point is, you can navigate, honestly, not too hard.
Directional pet up.
Just takes a bit of understanding.
Directional pet
So,
up.
the actual combat of the game, it's pretty self-explanatory. You have X by default when you start the game is your basics, is a basic skill. Basic skill. I cannot speak today. And depending on the class, it'll be a different thing. It'll have different properties. For my druid here, it is a lightning strike. So I put lightning on my weapon. So lightning sword or lightning axe, whatever I'm wielding, and it lets me have 24% damage reduction, as well as dealing just a bit of damage. So it's a pretty chump skill, honestly. It's not that great. Then your core skills, like every class has like 5 different or 6 different little branches of skills.
Companion skills summon allies from nature to aid you in battle.
Again, we're on console here, so when I hit options and click R1 twice, we go to skills. And this is a cursor menu. You can't use the D-pad as far as I'm aware. I haven't really tried it. It's not a big deal because, again, the screen reader reads everything, so I don't need to really memorize the menu. So, free cursor around. Eventually, you'll visit this page enough to where you understand. Okay, these skills are the top left. These skills are the top right. You know, this one's next to this one. Like, eventually, it is a much easier process to apply your skills. The one tip I'll say right now is when you boot up the game. And I probably should have led with this earlier. When you boot up the game for the first time, it's going to bring you to the setup screen. The screen reader is the L1, is all the way to the left in tabs, and it's the very first option in the top. So, boot up the game, you do L1 or L2 or left trigger, left bumper, whatever your button is. So it's all the way on the left tab, and then the very, very, very top option should be screen reader. And then you click X on that or A on that or confirm, and then from there it should be on, hopefully. The currently the PS4 version is the one that works on PlayStation. PS5 apparently doesn't work still. Not a big deal because your characters and all your data, everything transfers anyway. So, I mean, once they fix the PS5 version, then swap to that, I guess. But for now, I'm just playing PS4. I mean, functionally speaking, it's no different. So I don't really care. I got the accessibility, so fine. The I got distracted. Is there ringing in the game? Am I like going crazy right now? Maybe I'm going crazy. Anyway, so I'm gonna actually try and get out of here and like show you guys how some combat works. Can't be too hard, right? Let's see if I can go find something to kill. Actually, what I'll do is I'll go to a different town.
Side quest LV 27 plus. Side to Madness. Reclaim Vilek and Appos. SIs from the cultists in Nostrava. Side quest LV 25 plus. Menestad coffers. Waypoint. Menestad. Travel by waypoint. Travel to Menestad.
Let's go to Menestad. This is another town. So when you go back to town, and you hit down to the town portal, it'll pull you to the capital of the region you're in. I probably should clarify. There are 5 regions in this game, and they're big. This is not a small game. You might get lost, honestly, even with the map, reading all the locations and stuff. This game is massive, so it just depends. There's actually a lot of content in the game. So the idea is you pick your character, you level it up, do your campaign, do whatever content you want to do. If you want to max the character to level 100 and like try and push it with the higher content Nightmare Dungeons, that takes you a long time. The actual leveling in this game feels more akin to something like World of Warcraft, according to Blind Believer, because he's the big like Warcraft guy. So we were talking a little bit ago, and basically we were comparing it, or like I was describing some Diablo 4, and we were talking, and yeah, pretty much this is really leaning toward WoW. It's like I said a while ago, I think this game really is like D2 plus WoW, and like a sprinkling of D3, which in itself is not a bad thing. So that's fine. So let's see if I can find anything to fight. So here, so I press X, it's a lightning seal. Square, I become a big bear. Triangle, I howl like I'm a werewolf. R1 is something. R2 is rocks. And then L1 for me is I turn into bear and charge. So each skill is different, right? So if we go back to the skills, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's do.
Companion skills summon allies from nature to aid you in battle.
See, where is trample?
Call of the Wild. Your companion skills deal 10% wolves. Nature and apples. S reach. Wolves. Ferocious wolf pack. Debilitating roar. Innate blood howl. Innate blood howl. Preserving debilitating roar. Debilitating roar also heals you for 4. Call of the Wild. Call of the Wild. Your companion skills deal 10%. Enhanced trample. Crushing earth. Wrath skills unleash powerful effects that alter the battle. Trample. Rank 2/5. Item contribution 1. Wrath. Lurebear. Shapeshifting. Cooldown 13.58 seconds. Lucky hit chance 20%. Shapeshifting to a Lurebear. Become unstoppable and charge forward, dealing 265 to 324, 83% damage and knocking back enemies. Enemies who are knocked back into terrain take an additional 159 to 194, 50% damage and are stunned for 3 seconds. Next rank. Damage 289 to 353, 90%. Terrain impact damage 100 trample. Rank 3/5. Item contribution 1. Wrath. Lurebear. Shapeshifting.
Apparently I had a skill rank I didn't know that. Alright then, well, that works. Yeah, so you can hear, like, there's damage statistics, there's percentages, you have to understand the difference between multiplicative and additive multipliers, or damage bonuses. So this game itself, as far as blind players go, what do you want to worry about when you first boot it up? Pretty much nothing. Just play on the lowest difficulty and just try and get the feel of the game. Understand that the map's your best friend. Understand that you don't need to worry about min-maxing all your statistics and gear, really, for a long time, honestly. It does help to understand it, so if you do want to make a build on the way or whatever, but realistically you don't need to. So right there, like, it was pretty simple. Like, I used the bear charge to run them down, I used the bear stomp to do AoE, area of effect, and then my X to charge, or get my special bar, pretty much, honestly. Every class has a different special bar mechanic. Like, necromancers have essence, druids have spirit, barbarians have fury. Each one's different, and they behave differently too, so you have to understand which one does which. Like, barbarians constantly drain when they're not fighting, so they never have any resource. Druid is just constant. It's either there or not there. Sorcerer, I think, is constantly charging. They're all different. So right here, I got an event joined. So I'm gonna try and do this event real quick. So while we're here, I'm talking and demonstrating some gameplay. So you can hear the screen readers telling me all the stuff I'm looking at, all the things we're targeting. So that's a spider over there.
That skill is not ready. Web hatchery. Search the cocoons for villagers. 1/3. Hatchling. Hatchling. Infested corpse. Infested corpse. Bottom action button.
So I have to find 3 villagers.
Hatchling. 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 Web hatchery. Hatchling. Not enough spirit to use that skill. That skill is not ready. Hatchling. 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 That skill is not ready. Hatchling. Not enough spirit to use that skill. Spider. 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 Not enough spirit. Hatchling. That's spider. 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 Hatchling. Hatchling. Spider. Spider. Hatchling. Spider. Not enough spirit to use hatchling. Spider. Spider. Hatchling. Spider. 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 Hatchling. Spider. Spider. Infested corpse. Spider. Spider host. That skill is not ready. Careful spider. Delete.
So that's a big boy spider. That's an elite spider.
Not enough spirit to use that skill. That skill is not ready. That skill is not ready. That skill is not ready. Spider. Web hatchery. Slay the remaining spiders. Web hatchery. Mastery. Keep all the villagers alive.
All the villagers alive. Okay.
Spider. Spider. Event complete. Web hatchery. 3,317 XP. Stronghold, LV. 30. Core Dragon. Once a bastion of the Knight's Penitent, this desecrated fortress stands abandoned. Basic Grey Sword. Cudgel. Ring. Crude Emerald. Cudgel.
So I got some gear from that.
Ice Climbing Pillar. Crude Emerald.
So that's not bad.
Hatchling.
Anyway, hope you guys found this helpful. I honestly don't think I did that well, but I'm just going to throw it out there and hopefully it helps somebody. Remember, the core basics are this. You want to kill things, get better loot. Kill things, get better loot. You have campaign quests, side quests, dungeons, cellars, random world events, random world bosses, Helltide events, PvP. There's a whole bunch of different things you could be doing. Like 2 or 3 of those events or items are not relevant until you complete a capstone dungeon, which Clarification: the capstone dungeons are basically skill checks. You cannot progress to the higher difficulty world tiers to get better gear until you beat a capstone. So you have to beat it. You can't just like if